So last year, towards the end of the year, my father's health began to decline, and I really just wanted to focus on him, put everything else aside, cut down my hours at work a little bit, put YouTube aside. Because of our situation right now, weddings weren't really popping at that time. So I was able to have that time to just focus on my dad and love on him and spend some significant time with him, helping my sister take care of him. And I'm so grateful that I did. So my dad departed this life a couple of weeks ago. We had his service exactly 1 week ago, last Saturday. It was a beautiful service. So I am trying to adjust to him being gone. My dad was just that kind of person that you just never thought he'd leave. Like, he was a tough guy, and no matter what he went through, he always survived it, So it was a lot harder than I thought. I'm grateful that God allowed me the time to love on him, to spend time with him, time to brace ourselves, for the inevitable. And my youngest sister, Shaquita, she did just a phenomenal job taking care of my dad. Like, she just stopped her whole life, and she did an amazing job taking care of my father. The rest of us work, to spend time with my father and to love on him. But Shaquita, my youngest sister, just phenomenal. Like, seriously, she just really, just like I said, just shut her whole life down. So my heart goes out to her, because like right now she's trying to just regroup and just get life back together. Her whole life has been him for the past year. So, now we're all trying to love on her, make sure she's good. And she's tough, she's good, but I just wanted to acknowledge her and just say thank you to her for all that she did, because he has 5 children remaining. My brother passed away some years ago, one of my siblings, but she really single-handedly took care of Dad, with us helping where we could. But so I believe God's going to really bless her as a result of that. And so that's what's been going on in my life. Like I said, we had my father's service last Saturday, a week ago. So it's been 1 week, and I'm grateful that so far, we were able to get through it, and so far no reports of anybody getting sick or anything. We did try to take precautions and be careful as we could. So I just thank God for bringing us through it. Yeah, so I'm grateful that we were able to have that time with him. And my mom as well, when she left, we were able to really love on her. And God is good. It's hard. My heart goes out to anyone who loses their family suddenly, loses family members suddenly. You don't have time to deal with your pain, and just like it's just boom. So I'm grateful that we had several months, like a year, to just really be there for my dad and let him know how much we loved him, and enjoy some laughs with him, and get his favorite foods to him. And the week before he passed away, I think it was the week before, I believe, I make a dish called hot chicken salad, and it's one of my dad's favorite dishes, and the family as a whole, everybody loves that dish. And he had a special request for hot chicken salad. So I made sure that I did that for him. I made it for him, and I took it over to him, and I fed him. He actually ate the first plate himself, and then I fed him the second plate, I think it was. And I was excited because his appetite wasn't great at that point, but he cleaned his plate, and I was just so excited. I mean, he loved it. And so I was super excited about that. That made me happy. To just be able to give him what he wanted, and to just love on my dad. I'll talk more about that at a later time, but before I go on to the next part of this video, because this is not really to be all about this, but I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge my dad. I loved him so much, and he was a good father. We went through a lot as a family. He was a handful back in his day. I don't know if you've seen my Draw My Life video. I'll link that right here. If you haven't seen that, you can watch that, and you kind of get an idea, of some of our adventures with my dad. But my dad, in spite of his rough side and his tough side. He was an amazing father. He was an amazing provider, hard worker. He loved his family. He loved hard. He loved my mom. And I'm just grateful for, you know, for all that God did. So what I was going to say is that before my dad passed away, I had gone to visit him in the hospital room. And from time to time I post something on Facebook, an old picture of him or something. I had found an older picture of him going through my mom's pictures. I was cleaning some things out and I was going through my mom's box of pictures, and I found an old picture of my dad, and real good looking picture. And I'll try to insert it here if I can find it. But I had gone to visit him in the hospital because he was kind of in and out of the hospital with his health and stuff. And I had gone to spend the evening with him. It was just me and him by ourselves one night. And I was like, Dad, I posted this picture of you on Facebook, and everybody was saying how good looking you were. And usually my dad's response to that kind of thing would be, always been good looking. Always been good looking. And, you know, we just laugh. He's always kind of cocky and conceited, you know. And so, but this particular evening, I showed my dad the picture. And I said, Dad, I posted this on Facebook, and everybody's saying how good looking you were, and this is how you got mama, and just kind of messing with them. And my dad looked away from the picture. Like, he looked away, like, and he had such a serious look on his face, and he was so sober. And I had honestly never seen, hold on, my son's playing the guitar. Just a second. Hassan, I'm recording. You gotta hold off for a minute. I won't be long. Musical kids. So I showed my dad the picture, and he kind of looked away, and he had a very sober look on his face. And he said, he first looked at me. He said, I had a suit on too, huh? Had a suit on, huh? And I said, yeah, Daddy, you looked good. And he kind of turned his head after that. And he said, a lot of wasted years, LaVon. A lot of wasted years. And I got kind of quiet, you know, it was just kind of a moment. And that was different for me, because my dad is a clown. Even like when he's sick or whatever, he's a clown. He's got a smart mouth. He's quick and witty and just, you know. But this night he was different. And it went deep with me. You know, I left the hospital that we didn't say a whole lot. We talked a little bit about God and his life and regrets and things like that. And I didn't really push the God thing with him, because my dad knows better than anybody else. He's the most spiritual sinner, if there's such a thing, that you've ever met in your life. So I didn't say a whole lot. I just really let him talk. I asked him a few questions, and he shared a few things with me. But I remember leaving that night and feeling different. And my eyes keep jetting because I'm trying to make sure my recording is still on. I remember leaving that night and I just kind of felt different. Like, that was different. I never really had a present, sober father. My dad wasn't really that kind of dad. You know, he loved in his own way. He took care of us in his own way. He did things his own way. But I didn't have that sober dad. You know what I mean? That you sit down and have real conversations with. My dad's he just kind of speaks his mind on the go. That's how he always was. But this night he talked to me. We talked and everything. And I left there feeling a mix of like, wow, my dad he's in a different state of mind. He's in a different state of mind. So I remember going home that night and I just was praying for him and just thinking about him, because my dad always just said, you know, he couldn't be saved, you know, he had done too much. And whenever you'd ask him, did he want to be saved, he would say, you know, yeah, but I can't get saved. I can't, you know. And for those of you who don't know about salvation, you know, repenting for your sins and getting a relationship with God and giving your life to God, he felt that he'd done too much. And sadly, you know, you almost kind of accepted that, because he told us that for so many years. He told my mom that, you know. But my sister Marcina, who's a lot like my dad, she just felt like God can save him. you know. And even though she's not saved herself, she felt like God can save Dad. God is forgiving. God can save Daddy. I want my dad saved. And she began to encourage us that we're saved. You know, like I'm in church, I'm saved, but it's like I was almost accepting what he was saying, but my sister, like, she just kept pushing, saying, no, he can get saved. I believe God can save my dad. I believe God's forgiving. Where does it say that he can't save Daddy? Where does it say that he did too much? And she was just like aggressively like, no, like Daddy needs to repeat, you know. So this was a couple weeks was going by, you know, and when she said that, I thought about it, because she and I talked on the phone, we were talking about it and stuff. And I thought about it, and I began to believe, like, okay, I believe, girl, if that's what you feel, I'm gonna jump on board too. Lord, help my faith, increase my faith. And so, you know, the saints began to pray. Our church began to pray. My sister reached out to my pastor, and you know, different ones began to pray and get a burden for my dad. And I'm trying not to get emotional. But my pastor went to visit him, and he was ready. He was ready to turn his life over to God, ask God to forgive him for his sins, and to save him. And it was such a miracle, you know. And in spite of what my mom went through with him, she always wanted my dad to get saved. And I'm just so grateful that God had mercy. At my dad's funeral, I sang a song called Pure Mercy. It was so fitting for my dad, just the words. I was trying to think of a song for his service. You know, we sing Welcome to Heaven a lot, but that's kind of a song that my mom used to sing at funerals, and I sang it when she left for several funerals. But that song spoke more about people that's been with God for a long time, and you know, just the words weren't to me really fitting for my dad, even though we are welcoming him to heaven, or God welcomed him to heaven, and we were grateful. But I was trying to find a song that fit him, and God helped me to find that song, Pure Mercy. And so, long story short, God saved my dad, and my dad was able to come to church. Even though he was pretty weak, he was able to come to church, give his own testimony, get baptized. And again, that I also have that video on that as well. But yeah, so that's what's been going on in my life. It was hard seeing my dad go. It was hard saying goodbye. You know, to lose your last parent. I lost my mom some years ago. She passed away in 2003. My brother passed away in 2002. That was a rough time for us, and I'll share those stories later. But it was something different about losing your last parent, and it hit me a lot harder than I thought it would. I just always thought my dad would be here, and I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time with him being gone, you know. So, but I'm not gonna keep doing this. So I'm grateful for God's mercy, and I appreciate the prayers of my friends and my church, and you know, just a lot of love and outpouring, and God really changed my dad for real. It was not, he was different. It wasn't just like, you know, oh, he's just professing something. No, my dad really, he was changed. God did a work, you know. And towards the end of his life, when, you know, a month or so after that, actually more than a month, because he gave his life to God in October, I believe, yeah, October last year, and then he passed away in February. So 4 months. So he began to decline really bad, and they wanted to try dialysis with him, you know, and he didn't have a lot of quality of life at that point. But you know, he told my sister no. He said, I don't want dialysis. They were trying to see if they can jumpstart his kidneys to function properly again. And he said no, you know. He was tired and he was ready to go, and he just said that he didn't want it, you know. And so that's what happened, and that's where I've been for the past, yeah, couple of months. I haven't done any videos in a couple of months because I just, like I said, that's what we're dealing with as a family. Family is more important to me than anything. I love my family, and like I said, I'm grateful that we were able to be there for my dad. So, and I didn't mean to go this long with the story, but that's the story. That's where I've been. And I'm going to get back into my YouTube videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing with me. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button. I am a fairly new YouTuber. I am very grateful for my subscribers. My channel is growing. I'm so thankful for that. I think that's about it. But that's pretty much it. So again, if you have not subscribed, please hit that button for me. Hit subscribe. And hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and feel free to leave a comment. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Subscribe. Did I already say that? Please be sure to subscribe. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.